Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of What a Gift, the podcast where we're trying to go from chaotic to iconic. I'm Jule.
And I'm Sarah, and today we're going to be getting into seasons of the year, seasons of life. We'll see where we go. And also little treats, little treat culture, reward systems, getting stuff done.
Can't wait. But first, how you doing? What's new?
What is new? I've recently found out that a collection of my friends are all members of the same gym as me. And so that's been fun. I've only gone with one of them, but anyways, I don't know why I started that way. Basically what I was going to say is that I don't know what came over me, but I got a good lift in, and then I went downstairs, and the friend that I was with was like still working out, and she's like, "Oh, I'll be down. I just have to finish this one set and then I'll be done." I'm like, "Great." So in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, a couple minutes goes by, she's still not there, whatever. And I don't know what came over me. I think there's just a pressure of like, you think people are looking at you through mirrors or something. I don't really know. And I'm just standing around, and most of the Stairmasters are like full, but there's like one in between people, and I was like,
Yeah.
Out of body experience. Like, I'm just like moving towards this Stairmaster. Up I go, and I'm like immediately regretting it.
The Stairmaster is so hard.
What am I doing? And I used to love the Stairmaster, but I've just not done it in a long time. And I immediately was like, but then I felt like I couldn't slow it down because you're squished in between people and they're getting after it.
The people next to me on the Stairmaster are without veil are climbing as Everest. And I'm like, how long have I been on here?
I know,
it's
been like
2 minutes.
37 seconds, and it's like
so hard.
Yeah, the people next to me are like going to town, and I look over and they've been on it for almost an hour, and they're just like really getting after it, and I'm like, well, it's okay when I quit in 4 minutes because my friend is gonna be here. I was on this thing for like 15 minutes before she showed her face, and I was like, my face has never been more red. It was crazy. It was like,
that's so funny.
When I think it's just worse when you're not mentally prepared for it, you know.
For sure.
And I'm like, when will this end?
I know a few people who go to my gym, but I feel like we just have a silent contract to never acknowledge each other. Like, I'm like, I come here not to be perceived by a soul. Like, and I'm always grateful when we just act like we didn't see each other and nobody says hi. That's so funny.
Yeah, so that was a frightening
Nice.
experience.
Well,
I saw my life flash before my eyes. Oh, thanks. Near-death experience. How are you?
Doing well. Oh, I actually have a little fun update for the gifties. So faithful listeners may recall way back in our early eps how I shared about my experience of going viral, and how I mostly got positive comments, but I was cyberbullied by one young man who said I had an overbite. Well, we had a giftee write in to the pod, and she said, as a current dental student and new What a Gift listener, I just wanted to pop on here and say, from my limited evaluation of your TikTok video, I want to affirm that I didn't notice an overbite, and I look at teeth all day. Ha ha ha.
Okay.
So thank you to Abby for affirming that, and good luck with dental school, and we're glad you're listening.
Okay, congrats, Jule.
So
Abby, you're a real one. Go reply to that guy.
So I sent a screenshot of that to the guy. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But it was nice to hear from her.
Yeah, that's so nice.
So just remember, not everything a hater says to you is true, and just let it brush off, wash over you. Yeah.
I still laugh at the fact that you refer to that man as your life coach and mentor.
Well, it's true. It's like whoever's mean to you, you're like, tell me more. You must be the only person who's right. Yeah. But
I have the opposite reaction. I'm like, I'm scared. Does everyone think that?
Yeah. But that was nice of Abby to write in. So thanks.
Yeah, so true. Okay, good update. I'm so happy for you.
So that brightened my day.
Yeah. Okay, let's jump in.
Yeah, let's unwrap some gifts.
What gift are you unwrapping today?
Okay. This week I'm unwrapping seasons. Okay. And I think we can kind of break it into two parts, seasons of the year and seasons of life.
Okay.
And I feel like with my gift, I either choose something that's way too big to cover or something way too specific. And this one is pretty big.
Okay.
But I'll start out in broad terms. One of the reasons I think seasons are a gift is because there's something hopeful about knowing that change is coming and knowing that like what is this too shall pass kind of thing of like seeing the year cycle through, I think gives you perspective on like the passage of time, life moving forward, like, and you're kind of able to, understand your own position and things like through that lens. So I feel like they're a gift broadly because of that. And similarly, like, so I feel like seasons of the year create that effect. And then also realizing that we go through these seasons of life, and just because there's a certain era or chapter we're experiencing, like, that's just my current era, and who knows what the next one will be. So I feel like, I don't know, like, I feel like that's a hopeful thing. And it's also a good reminder of like, life is short and temporary, and like, wow, these leaves that were beautiful and green like not too long ago are now colorful and falling off, you know, like, and I don't know, just this reminder of like, oh, time is moving forward, and it gives a sense of like hope and urgency to life, I think. So
yeah, so true.
Yeah. What is your favorite season of the year?
Okay, so it used to be fall. It's beautiful. I like when the weather cools off a little bit. And then when I lived in England most recently, I really became a spring person because people, well, one, they get a lot of rain. And so people are big gardeners, and English garden beds are famous for being like really deep. And so I'm not kidding. I feel like every week I would walk to campus and there would be something new in bloom, and it was so beautiful. And I think just seeing things come alive again and like replenish and rebirth, like, I don't know, it was like so beautiful. It was such a beautiful season. I loved spring in England. But now that I'm back stateside, I lived in Chicago for like 5 years, and now I've been in Colorado for a few years. And I think I'm a summer person, which is, I never thought that I would say that.
I don't know what I thought you were going to say, but I'm actually so shocked.
I know. I hate sweating when I'm not exercising. Like, and when you walk outside, it's just immediately hot. I'm just like, ugh. I still don't like that. But I love summer culture. I love summer vibes, summer activities. I think I really have embraced and really have come to love summer. So I think in this state of life, in this season of life, I am a summer gal.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That what an evolution. It's funny. I feel like cheesy in some ways where have you ever heard, there's this song by The Who where he's like, I like every minute of the day. Do you know that? Anyway, it's really pretty. I kind of feel that way with seasons where I'm like, well, I like this one, but I also like this one.
Yeah.
Like, there is something special and beautiful, I truly believe, about each season. And yeah, like spring is so hopeful and beautiful. And my birthday's in spring, and summer is so fun. You can go on a boat or go to the beach, and it's just, there's a feeling of like seize the day in summer. Fall is so cozy and romantic, and winter is so like crisp, and I love like beautiful stylish coats. And
I was gonna say, and all my clothes are appropriate for winter.
Yeah, like, I don't know. So there is something to all of them, but for sure I think my number one is fall.
Okay.
Is it basic? Maybe. I don't care. It's basic for a reason. It's the best season. I love fall. First of all, okay, I feel like it used to be like in vogue to hate on people who like pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
Pumpkin is an amazing flavor. It's so good, and it's I feel like it's one of the few seasonal vegetables or fruit that we really keep to just that season. You know, like a lot of things you can kind of still get throughout the rest of the year, but it's so special and festive when you're like, it's pumpkin time. Anyway, I love pumpkin stuff. I love a good like candle and a sweater, and I love the leaves changing. And working at a university, like, there's something so like academic and pretty about like the quad and the like at Penn it's called Locust Walk, and there's like, I don't know, it just feels so it's romantic. I feel like fall is very romantic. And I kind of like, I like when the leaves are first changing, and I love kind of a rainy November. Most of the leaves have fallen. There's a few left. Like, I think every stage of fall is like so beautiful and special. And yeah, and I like wearing tights, and I like the first time you wear your coat for the year. I don't know. I love it all. Downsides are it getting dark at 5 p.m.
Scraping frost off your car in the morning.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. I really like, I'm charmed by fall and winter, but then by the time, like, when you have that first warm day or like the first really like, sunny hint of spring in like March, suddenly you're like, oh, it's like you're waking up. It's literally like when King Theoden like comes to in Lord of the Rings, like where I'm like, I think I've been depressed. Like, it's like I've been feeling fine and I didn't notice it. And then there's one warm day and I'm like, good morning, world. Like, and I'm suddenly like, oh, I've been operating at like 40% capacity. So I do think I'm ready for a change when winter finally ends, but there are charming like crackly things about fall and winter that I really like. Yeah,
I know.
I love it.
It's cozy and fun.
Well, thanks for tuning in.
Did you guys have like the outside chores for fall? Like, did you guys have to rake leaves and bag them and do all that stuff?
Yes, we had a pretty big yard, and my dad is very particular. Like, so I felt like every crumb of a leaf had to be removed from the yard, and so we would rake it onto tarps and drag the tarps to the mulch pile. And like, I remember like as a kid, the first time I was like, what are these things on my hands? And my mom was like, that's a callus. I was like, I'm too young for this. But it was exciting because
you just started singing Annie.
I'm like, look down. But then we would get allowance, and then it would be our local parish. It would be the Christmas bazaar. So we would like take our leaf raking allowance and be like absolutely living large at the Christmas bazaar, like gambling on the spin and win. So even though I feel like that was a lot of work, it was still kind of fun, those big fall chores.
Yeah, and you have to do it with like your siblings and
we used to have like a bunch of apple trees in our yard. The worst fall chore was picking up apples. There'd be like yellow jackets around them, and they smelled kind of like sour and fermented. Can you picture like a rotting brown apple? Yeah, like, and so I would have these again as a young child, I'd have these huge gardening gloves on, and I'd be like in the field putting these rotting apples in the bucket, just like hating life. But we also had an apple cider press, so we'd gather all the good apples and wash them in these big tubs and like churn them through the apple cider press.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was really fun. And then the apple cider was like amazing. And the feeling of like, either finishing raking leaves or finishing making apple cider.
Or and like then shoveling snow or whatever. Yeah.
And then but specifically in the fall, finishing those chores and then going into my parents' house. And like a football game would be on the TV, and my mom, if we were like having one of those hardworking outdoor days, sometimes my mom would make like a roasted chicken or pot roast or something, like, so you smell dinner cooking, and she would make an apple pie with apples, and it was like a long day's work, and now I'm gonna watch football, and like it just like felt so fall-ish and like charming. Nice. But did you guys have big fall chores?
Yeah, we do the raking of the leaves, and I feel like maybe that was it. I feel like we would do inside stuff too. Like there was always kind of like the changing of the season brought a deep clean weekend, or like we'd always, I think in the fall is when we would always have the ironing basket in our house was like perpetually overflowing, and I don't know who owned those clothes, like why they always need to be ironed. But anyways, I think it was in the fall where it was ironing day, and like we had to iron like all these things. It was like so niche and random, but I think I remember it because along with that there would also be a collection of socks that would go unpaired or whatever. And I remember whoever would kind of be done with chores first, like we'd all be sitting in the living room, and my dad would come in with like this big basket of socks, and he'd be like, okay, who can match the most in the least amount of time? And it was like this little race to match all these socks. It's just so random, but we got it done.
I feel like fall and spring are kind of the like clean out, reset, clean out seasons for sure. I also want to say, I feel like we need to save fall a little bit because in recent years, it's like October is being hijacked by the spooky season crowd, and it's all about Halloween. And then November, suddenly, November 1st, it's Christmas. And people, and like, I'm kind of like, okay, guys, let's leave these holidays to like a smaller little radius around their date, and then let's enjoy the fall just as a general thing, you know, like, because I feel like the fall doesn't have to be all Halloween or all getting ready for Christmas. There's also just plain fall. So I advocate for that. I want to use my platform and my voice to.
Is there a movie that you typically watch around this time that you would like to mention?
My favorite fall movie is a film called You've Got Mail. Don't you? I love. There's one of the opening lines. Tom Hanks is like, "Don't you just love New York in the fall? If I had your name and address, I would send you a bouquet of freshly sharpened pencils." I love that movie. Anyway, but
I feel like so far in 2026 episodes of What a Gift.
All I talk about is You've Got Mail. Don't worry, guys. I won't watch it till next fall. We'll have a break. I also have later fall movies. Like, so to me, right around Thanksgiving, it's Little Women time. Okay. The Winona Ryder one. And
you don't like the new one at all. It's okay to say no.
Dead air. No, here's the thing. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a bad adaptation of Little Women. Okay. So, because I love Saoirse Ronan. I think Greta Gerwig's a good director. I think Laura Dern was miscast. But I
like that one.
I genuinely think it's a good movie. I just am like, these girls are not playing the girls. Okay. The like I don't think it's a good adaptation. Okay. And different opinions make the world go round. Yeah. But I don't want to spend too much time on just fall. Sure. But yeah, like spring's great. Love Easter. My birthday's in spring. Love vacation in the summer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess we touched on the other ones.
Bundling up in winter.
Yeah, winter. Yeah. I will say, it's very lucky it has Christmas. And now my wedding anniversary is the first day of winter, so that's fun. The beginning of winter I love. It's kind of the end that.
I feel like like snow after the new year and stuff like the like meat of winter, like January, February.
I think that's why I love then, you know? Valentine's Day, because it's just one beacon in the otherwise gray. Have I talked about how I see the world? I see the calendar year like a Candyland board. No. Okay, sorry, I struggled to get that sentence out. But okay, like in Candyland, it's like all the squares are blank and boring, and then there's like the special squares where it's like Mr. Candy Cane or the Fudge Lady or Queen Frostine. I think I have talked about this. That's how I see the calendar year, where it's like most of the squares are blank, but then like things like Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day or like the smaller ones are kind of like, that's like Mr. Candy Cane or Miss Fudge or whatever, you know, the lesser special squares, and then like Queen Frostine is like Christmas, and then Miss Lolly is like Thanksgiving. Gifty, sound off if you get what I'm saying. But
the fact that you know all those characters' names.
I love Candyland. But yeah, that's kind of how. So I feel like, especially in the times of the long stretches of blank squares, then things like Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day or like when there's like a reason to eventize or celebrate a little bit, we're like, okay, yay, like a little bit of color. So I love that. But seasons don't just have to be seasons of the year, Sarah. Oh. They can also be seasons of our life. So, and they can be good or hard seasons, and they can be long or short.
Go on.
Let's dive in. So
please, longer intro.
So, this is a multi-layered gift. So, like obviously there can be like, oh, my season of singleness, or like I recently experienced a season of grief, or we can experience a season of anticipation if you're pregnant or engaged, or you know, like, or there can just be seasons of like hopefully I'm in my getting my spark back season, and you know, I feel like there can be these chapters like and seasons of life, and I think sometimes it's helpful to acknowledge the season you're in, because it just the same way that the seasons of the year pass away, and the same way that the seasons of the year have their fun, cute, beautiful things and their more annoying, burdensome things. I think when we can acknowledge that about what we're experiencing, there's like we have a better perspective on it, and like we're able to handle it more.
Totally.
What do you think?
I would agree. What season are you in? I know you're getting your spark back.
I think I'm in my getting my spark back season. I pray.
I guess what one do you think about the most? Like the fact that you're married,
like currently,
or that like.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, probably the getting my spark back. Like, okay, I feel like I always share these like half-baked, like I read an article, but I never have any source for this, but I recently read something about how like in life there's certain kind of milestones of aging where like you age in these larger like waves. Do you know what I'm talking about? So like, instead of it just perfectly aging evenly every single day, it's kind of like, there's like thresholds. And so one of them I read is age 34, where like that's kind of a time where you cross a new threshold of aging. And I feel like as a 34-year-old, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel older. I have gray hairs. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I've had a bit of an identity crisis of like, am I still, do I matter still? Am I still cute and fun and interesting? Or am I just now like, have I vanished into being married? And it just, like, am I getting older by the second, etc.? And so I feel like that panic was gripping me for a while. And now the getting my spark back season is like, girl, no, you're young, you're fun, we got this. So yeah, I feel like that really is my prominent one. But like I said, I feel like the season of grief like that I experienced that I am experiencing still, like I think sometimes, especially in like American culture, it's very much like, okay, you could be sad for 2 weeks and then never bring this up again. And it is amazing how it is. Like people always say like grief, it never goes away, you just learn to live with it, like that kind of thing. I feel like I was expecting that to be just like a season that went away, and it's like, oh, it still lingers. But what about you? What season do you think is your prominent one you're experiencing?
Loaded question.
You asked me, I know. Should have seen it coming.
I don't know. I feel like the one I think about the most is like probably singleness. I think just because I'm 36 and I feel like I look around and I feel like everyone is married. I just like feel behind, like totally when I'm looking around. But I think, and it obviously it's not like I'm believing a lie that I'm still single. Like,
right.
I am in fact still single. But I think to think of more like exciting stages of life, like I don't know if I like have like little labels or names for them, but like I think it's been so fun to live with the girls that I'm living with now. I think like I'm a director at work, and it's been really empowering to like be like making decisions more and like leading and things like that. So I think there's like kind of this season of empowerment that I feel like within my role at work. And I think even things like doing this podcast and like being able to speak more, like do more public speaking and stuff, like I'm just feeling more like confidence. Maybe this is my season of confidence.
Okay, I love that.
So yeah, I've been enjoying that.
Yeah, and I think like I'm sure there are people listening who are like, well, I'm not in a specific season right now. And I do think there are just like in between times of just like chugging along, like, which is totally fine. Totally. But I think it's like with something like singleness, it being like, instead of being like, I am single, I'm chronically single, it's like making an identity. It's like making it a season is instead like it gives you like a proper distance from it or something. One famous season that I feel like usually with these life seasons we all experience them like asynchronously, but one that we all experienced together was the pandemic. I feel like that was like especially lockdown. There's certain times where I look back on eras that we experienced together, and that one is when I think back, I'm just like, that was so crazy. And I had a hard time with it at the time and was crying like every day, but but then it's funny because now I look back and I'm like, that was kind of quirky and fun. Anyway, that just popped into my head as a classic. That was one time when all of our seasons synced up as we all got locked in our houses.
Yeah. I wonder what like hours of streaming services like we're at. Like,
I remember I turned off my screen time measurer on my phone during lockdown, and I still haven't turned it back on.
Oh, okay.
I gotta. I was like, this is none of my business. And yeah, that's so funny.
It's TikTok dance era and Tiger King and like.
But one thing that was cool about that time was this, because everything felt so blank suddenly and quiet, like people suddenly like were taking up hobbies or like tapping into parts of themselves that had just been numbed out or drowned out by their busy lives, like. And so I feel like if someone's listening and they're like, well, I don't know what season I'm in, or like what, I feel like there's always an opportunity to be like, well, what season do I want to begin? Like,
that's a good point.
Like maybe you should have a season of hobbies or a season of meeting new people, or like I feel like my friend David was really good about like, he'd be like, this is my year of sports, and he would like try to go see all the major sports teams in our city, and like he just like he chose something, like a season doesn't always have to be this profound like identity shifting thing. Like it can be like, okay, this year I'm making a new friend this many times, or this season I'm not eating out anymore, I'm cooking everything at home, I don't know. So I think also like starting a season and believing like you can do something new, or that like I don't know, like I during the Eras tour, I feel like everyone was using the word era, but there is something empowering about deciding to step into an era of, and like to dream, have some like new little dreams to chase after.
Totally.
Seasons.
Here's to getting your spark back season.
Yes, guys, let me know if you're ever watching a video and you're like, it's back. She got it back. Please keep me posted.
Tell me which episode and the minute marker so that I can replicate that exact energy at all times.
Exactly. Okay, so moving on from seasons, Sarah, what are you unwrapping this week?
I'm unwrapping the gift of little treats.
Love it.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a culture that's sweeping the nation, that has swept. Maybe it's on its way out. But I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
What do I mean by little treats culture? I mean, and I think, I want to caveat, I think that there is a way to take advantage of this. And I think there is a way that it is a gift.
Right.
And
like with many gifts, moderation.
Yes, exactly. Key. So, little treats is like, you do something, you accomplish something, you check something off the list, you get a little treat for yourself. And I think where we can misuse this is, it's like, we've all seen the videos of, or the memes of people like, I woke up today, I'm getting a little treat, and maybe there are some days where getting up is the hardest thing that you have to do that day. I like, probably after David died, like there was probably days where like it was super hard to do bare minimum, and I like there's days like that for sure. And I think on days like that, little treats play their part. Like I did the bare minimum, and it took everything I had. And so I'm gonna have ice cream after dinner tonight, or in the middle of for breakfast.
Right, those days exist, but we can't be rewarding ourselves for mediocrity.
Totally. But it's like, but I like on any given day, like I should get up and I should make my bed and I should brush my teeth and I should do these things and whatever. So I'm not really talking about little treats for nothing. Nothing. But I think my job right now is in recruitment, and we have a very large goal that has been set for us this year. And so anytime we hire someone, my team is so good. They like all come together and we celebrate, and we bought this like really nice bottle of tequila. And so at the end of the week of it, like, if we've hired someone that week, we will take a nice little toast of tequila.
That's so fun.
So I think like things like that, like being able to ceremonialize or like celebrate little victories or big victories. And I think that like, in those situations, like there's something that I think psychologically helps us. That's like, it's not that I'm just like living for this like pleasurable experience after doing something, but it's like I am able to like celebrate and reward myself for persevering or doing something difficult or doing something that I took courage or took patience or whatever. So yeah, I know a lot of people that like their routine is like, I'm gonna go to confession on Saturday on whatever, and then I'm gonna go to Starbucks on the way home or something, and it's like I'm gonna get myself a little treat, and it's like yeah, you just had to bare your soul, you know. And it's like that is sometimes scary and hard, and it's like if you need a little treat to get you there, then by all means.
No, I love little treat culture. Yeah, I think in moderation always, and not overspending or overindulging in like a crazy way, but yeah, I think that it's similar to how I feel about the Candyland squares. Like sometimes you just need a little pop of color or excitement or sugar or whatever it is in a day. What would be your like go-to little treat? Or like, if you know what I mean, if someone wanted to like pat you on the back or something, like what would you want it to be?
Probably, I mean, the easiest thing would probably be like a dark chocolate bar or something, but I think I'm always game for an afternoon coffee, or I don't know, something that like I don't love spending money on, but I'm like, you know what,
oh my gosh, when someone just like walks in holding a coffee and it's for you, it's such a special feeling, like where you're just like, I'm not even worried if they got my order right away. I'm just like, thank you so much. It's so nice.
I think something, if I'm gonna plan for a little treat, I'm gonna like go to a restaurant for dessert, like a dessert at a restaurant.
I feel like baked goods. Like I feel like to me a quintessential little treat is like with getting something with your coffee. Like I get a little croissant or something. That's so fun. Wait, but you brought up dark chocolate, and I need to make a confession. I'm ready to go public.
It's fine if you don't. I don't like dark chocolate,
but I feel like respectable people like it. Like I feel like it's kind of like the adults version of chocolate. And I'm like,
thank you for noticing.
Well, this is a crazy idea. I like my chocolate to taste good. So I really I feel like when I eat it, my mouth feels so bitter and like sour.
I mean, I can't go past like a 70% dark chocolate, and also it should have salt or something,
right?
Salt, whatever, something to bring out the chocolate.
Yeah, like, but I've always been really self-conscious about how I don't care for it.
Jule,
thank you for receiving that.
You're welcome.
Revelation.
You don't have to like it. Be your own person.
Thank you.
Milk chocolate is delicious.
Yeah, I feel like. Yeah, I guess like a little something with my coffee, I feel like would be an ideal little treat. Yeah. But I also love, like Chris, my husband, works so hard. Especially he is in a season of grinding in a crazy way because he's in school and is working 2 jobs like to get through school. And like he is the best. He works so freaking hard, and sometimes I just want to like scoop him up and be like, "You've worked so hard today," and so I like telling him he deserves a little treat or making one happen. And I feel like it's fun to do that for other people, like especially your love language is gift giving. I feel like you're really good at being like when I came to stay at your house, you're like, I got you these eye masks and this lip balm or whatever. You know, like when it comes from someone else, it's so special. But sometimes other people aren't aware that you just had a victory and you need to buy yourself flowers or whatever it is. So I actually think buying myself flowers is maybe my top little treat. I'll be at the grocery store and I'm just like, I'm getting these. I love getting flowers. Yeah,
that is a nice little treat.
Yeah. And that's a simple gift, but it's a good one. So gifties, if you just had a victory or did something hard, get yourself a little treat. And if not, look for someone in your life who you want to surprise with one.
And you don't even have to pay for it. It's like a little treat could be bring your dinner to a lookout point and watch the sunset tonight. Or like, just get out and do something extra special that you have to make time for, but like you're worth making that time for. So you should just go do it.
Yes. So completely.
Yeah.
Yay. Little treats.
Yay.
And seasons. 2 great things about life.
Yeah. Another little treat that we've saved for all the gifties is everyone's favorite segment, the gift of perspective.
Yes. So this is our segment where we share either a journal entry, an old post, an old artifact from our life, and we think, what were we doing? Who were we back then? Sarah, what is your gift of perspective?
I'm glad that I always get to go first because yours are always so funny. Mine are always like,
lame
okay,
this week.
Nice. Okay, I brought an artifact from school again. It's called a reading diary, and I did not ever write in this. It seems my parents wrote in this. It's like an original group chat with my parents and my teacher. But basically, I think what was happening was that I was practicing my reading, and so I was supposed to read, and then there's some questions written here that my parents asked me, and they're supposed to record my answers and update my teacher on like how much did you read and whatever. So there's the only things in this whole little booklet. If you're not, maybe you can hear me fanning these pages.
Little paper booklet that looks ancient.
And the only entries, my mom wrote one and my dad wrote one, and that's it. Like there's no
I gave up.
There's no other thing. So anyways, I'm gonna read them both because they're really short, but they happened it seems like 2 months apart. Well, okay. Anyway, so my mom's entry was...
What year is this?
This is in 96.
Whoa, okay.
So Miss Pepperpot's Busy Day by Alf Preussen is what I was reading. I said, quote, I enjoyed it because I like the words. Really profound. And then my mom said, it was a good book for Sarah. She's showing some improvement in inflection. Some improvement in inflection. I sound like the world's stupidest child.
I enjoyed it because I liked the words.
Well, it gets worse because then my dad said that I was reading Old Father Christmas. And also I'm just now seeing that there's a star rating. 1 to 5 stars. 1 is poor, 2 is okay, 3 is good, 4 is very good, and 5 is excellent. My mom and my dad both just rated me good. So that's humbling. Hey. Okay, so now I'm reading Old Father Christmas, and my dad quoted me by saying, I liked all the details in the story. Old Father Christmas was my favorite character. And then he says, Sarah is becoming more retentive of details and comprehends more of the story. And all I shared no details. I just said I liked all of the details.
I like the main character whose name is the title.
Stupid. And then he goes, she read up to the point where the man knocked the boy over with the haystack. So very informative. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for helping me become the scholar I am today.
Right then that they had a prodigy on their hands.
They were like, let's get this girl into sports. School's not her thing.
That is so funny. Okay, my gift of perspective is a journal entry, but it's not from my childhood. It's from, I found one from a season of life.
Whoa.
It's during the pandemic. Okay. During peak singledom for me. Okay. And I wrote this entry on my birthday in 2020. Whoa, April 21st, 2020. Okay. So I journaled year after year from childhood on. Okay.
Oh, wow.
But I thought this was good since we talked about seasons. Okay. Last night before bed, I was reminiscing about all the things that happened in my life as a 28-year-old, and they were all so good and memorable, and it kind of made me nervous, like, am I really going to get 2 great years in a row? Seems unlikely. Starting out in a miserable pandemic seems like a foreboding start to things, but who knows? This could still be the banner year of my life that I've been waiting for. Today, I'm wearing a black skirt with red roses on it, a black v-neck, and little dangly red rose earrings. Maybe that sounds really matchy-matchy, but I was trying to look more festive, even though, once again, no one cares.
Jule.
So that was a little peek into my psyche in 2020. And spoiler alert, it was not a banner year for me. It was I was in my house all year being sad, but
wow.
But
do you when you write it, are
coming
you
for that girl? So.
It's so true. When you're writing, do you write it like how you read it, like with that tone and stuff?
I mean, that I was definitely joking. Yeah, like I guess so. Yeah. I don't know.
Nice. Wow.
But it's crazy. That was like 6 years ago.
Yeah, point. That is crazy.
Anywho, Gifty, this has been great. Thanks for spending some time with us and unwrapping gifts. We love having you. Don't forget to follow the pod, share it with a friend, give us a good review. And you can find us on Instagram. I'm at Copacabana. The O is a 0.
And I'm at Sarah Ra. And as always, Gifties, remember that life is a gift.
So receive it. Bye.